Hello. This script is a little hard to classify. I chose to tag it as a male speaker, however, Loki is likely more gender fluid. The dilemma I came across was how to cause the least pain or confusion. Please note that the voice is indeed male throughout, but there will be themes with Loki also being female. No offense is intended, and if I caused some, please accept my apology. Also, this is Loki. Please approach with an open mind. Thank you. I'm free? I'm free. Hell. This is hell's doing. I get this venom out of my eyes and... Don't worry. Our torment shall at last come to an end. Time to protect the home and hearth. Lend me your aid, daughter. Send your armies of the dead. I'll meet them after your servant and I get to the land of humans. Oh, boy. Good to get out of there. It was such a long time. Not if we quiet anymore, but... Ugh. Bored! Oh, hi. Don't worry. I mean, real harm. Me? Oh, me. I'm kind of a big deal. You might have heard of me. I'm the Entangler. No? Protector of hearth and home? The blank look in your eyes tells me quite a bit of time has passed. Yeah, I should look like him. I am him. That is what I said. The Entangler. Oh, it is more a title than a name. Names have power, after all. Otherwise, why would Odin do the things he did for forbidden knowledge? Really? You... Okay, let's get a few things clear. Odin is the tricky traveler. I'm... Loki, for now. Also tricky, but generally benevolent. You heard what? Okay, so maybe time has altered the truth. Don't get me wrong, I don't expect you to believe me. I mean, I did kinda invent lies. Yeah, should have not mentioned that, I guess. Okay, so here's the truth, okay? Be prepared. Alright. I am Loki, protector of the home and family. I am father and mother to children, be it father to my beautiful children, Hel, queen of the dead, Norman Younger, the world serpent, and Fenris, the wolf, or mother to my healthy son Slegnir, who that jerk Odin rides into battle. I mean, really? Really? My son? Gah! Okay, Odin is my relative. We'll leave it at that. We don't get along. Well, Thor is a bit of a drunk with an anger issue. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not above causing some mischief and chaos, but I don't pretend to be anything other than who I am. Even if I do swap genders, and shapes, and species. Incubus? What's an incubus? Huh. Weird. Never heard of those. Sound fun, though. Well, the whole thing with Mead and Odin began long ago. You see, the kids I was a dad for apparently are part of a prophecy called Ragnarok, and they may help me rip Odin and the rest a structurally superfluous keister. Yeah, I may be a bit wordy, but I've been chained to that rock for a while a snake dripped venom into my eyes, okay? I'm a little starved for attention. And more on that later. Anyway, the jerk, when he learned of my kids, he took them from me. He he tossed my daughter into the land of the dead. She's stuck there. But she arranged for my freedom. And the army I've been using my illusions to hide you from. Nah, don't run. You're surrounded. No, of course not. I meant what I said. I mean, real harm. I'm just aching for company. I told you I was tied to that rock for a while, but hell soldiers are formidable, but they are terrible at conversing. I might as well be talking to myself. And what is so funny about that? You are weird, human. Nah, I kind of like it. Anyway, then he found my son Norman Younger. Then, just to prove there was nothing I could do, hurled my beautiful boy into the sea as Thor held me down. They promised me they would spare my other son, if I behaved. Well, they took him anyway. They convinced my own son I was the bad guy. Tyr, he even pretended he was my son's friend. But, at least he was alive and relatively free. That sadly didn't last long. Well, he quickly got big enough to be a threat. Too big a threat. My son, believing me the lying, scheming jerkface, went along with a game to test his strength with the Icer. Well, Icer are like gods, basically, to you humans. They convinced him to wear stronger and stronger chains until they found ones that would hold him. Right? They used my own invention of the lie against my son. Gah. Anyway, my son wasn't a fool, though. He finally told them he'd only do it if they'd put a hand in his jaws. Yup, snapped it right off Tyr's arm. It wasn't justice, but it was something. Well, after all that, I finally got frustrated, but found a way to get some revenge. Oh, our son Sleipnir? Well, funny story. I may have distracted this giant's horse when Odin and Thor demanded to do something to nullify a contract. Of course, at any cost, but not the actual cost. Ugh. Well, a bit later, I was proud to have my 8-legged horse son. Oh, get over your hang-ups, human. I only did that because Odin and Thor were going to thrash me. Thor, if you didn't know, is pretty crazy in the power rating. Well, I mean, there was this one time the Entangler of the Outlaw or Outyards, Utgard Loki, I guess. Sure. Anyway, Thor drugged me off to visit him, and after a little run with some human peasants, and Thor being off with their children because of a limping goat, oh, what a jerk. We were off. We spent a night in this huge cave. What? Him? Handsome? Where did you hear that? The man couldn't resist bashing things with his hammer regardless of fault, and, well, let's just say he had a significant drinking problem. Me? Biased? You don't say. Anyway, we left the cave and we found out it was actually this giant's glove. The giant was nice and all. I think his name was Screamer. He gave us food, but Thor couldn't open the food bag when it was offered. It was funny. The giant was sleeping and Thor smashed Mjolnir into his head. Well, I got to watch, and it was fun watching Thor get mad as the giant just kind of looked up, asked if there was a leaf that hit him in the head, and then went back to sleep. Oh, it was so good. I know I'm getting there. Okay, sorry. He directed us to Utgard Loki after telling us we should be as humble as we were not very exceptional. Yeah, Thor was super upset. He has an ego much bigger than his hammer. Oh, it got better. He couldn't open the gate. His face was exquisite when I just snuck through the bars. Right? Anyway, Thor tried lifting Utgard Loki's cat, drinking from his drinking horn, and wrestling an elderly woman, and failing in all of them. It was great! But get this, though. That idiot almost actually killed us all in his attempts. Yeah, that cat, that was actually my son Norman Younger, and he actually lifted him up enough to almost rip the world apart. That horn? Yeah, it connected to the ocean, and he lowered it by quite a bit. The elderly woman was actually old age. Even better, the giant that Thor hit while sleeping, that was actually a mountain that now has huge valleys in the shape of that idiot's hammer. Yeah, so you see I'm not able to mess with that kind of power. Me? Oh, no, I didn't challenge Utgard Loki. Ugh, fine. I lost an eating competition with Loki, the personification of fire. Happy? Fine. Blah. He kicked us out after revealing the truth. Anyway, I was powerless to do anything. They forced me to be their scapegoat time and again, blaming me for all the things they themselves were guilty of. I did call them out on it once. It didn't end well. I did get another chance later on, though, but it backfired pretty badly. Yeah, real bad. See, the Icer Balder was immune to damage by all things, living or otherwise. Everything. But mistletoe. I may have made a spear of mistletoe and gave it to his blind brother, who, I have to admit, wasn't having any fun. The Icer were ignoring the one that was just off in the corner, unable to partake because of his inability to see as they did. That should tell you all you need to know about the Icer. Anyway, so I gave it to his blind brother, and, well, he did die, Balder did, and they were none the wiser. It was more to get my revenge on his mom and dad, sure, but it also gave my daughter Hel the benefit of having a bargaining chip. Now, here is why. I was going to have her bargain for Balder. You see, my goal was to use him to free Hel and Fenris. But when someone went to bargain with my daughter, They refused that offer. Instead, Hel accepted a new offer to show good faith. She told me that the deal was that if they could prove all things wept for Balder, well, she'd let him go. Well, the idea was that if everything didn't, well, they would see no other option and finally cave in and release my children. Well, sadly, almost everything was weeping, so I may have stepped in. Well, I may have disguised myself as a giant and then spewed venom about Balder. However, I couldn't hold in my laugh, though. So he realized it was me. I went on the run for a while. I wasn't totally stifled, though. I got to invent the fishing net. It was awesome. I had a nice shack, a small boat. It was a humble life, but if I couldn't be with my kids, it was the best life I could live. Well, one day I got my boat moored from fishing and lugged my catch in. I barely emptied my net when I heard the voice of Odin. I burnt the net and took off. I jumped into the water and changed into a salmon, hiding in the streams. But one of them figured out how to make my net from the ash pattern that was behind there, and Thor used it to catch me. Well, when they figured out what I did and how deeply I was connected, they chained me up to the aforementioned rock with a snake dripping venom in my eyes. I'm sure they twisted the tail, but it doesn't matter. Say, you know, you look like you'd be a great parent, and you seem really nice. Well, this isn't quite a good time for me, but if you were interested, I could come for you after Ragnarok. No, as a spouse, silly. I'd like to court you proper. Well, that is up to you, really. I can stay male all day and night if you like. Doesn't really make any difference to me. Wonderful. Well, here, let me leave some of my daughter's troops to keep you safe. I hope to see you soon. My little sugar plum.